Okay, so there are a lot of things that are actually happening in the crypto space now, right? From people building systems that can actually enable business adoption, right? Then there are those that are involved with the attention economy, right? And then you have those that are involved with content creation and all that, right? So a lot of stuffs are actually happening now, and there are sometimes when I even look at the crypto space, I'm like, what's going on? It seems a lot of changes are actually taking place. Now, most of the times we can actually, there are people who are very involved with tech, right? Tech is good, like, oh, you have the best technology, right? The other question now comes with who is using it, right? And then the other thing is, okay, what is the ease of use and adoption? If you look at crypto, if you look at crypto very carefully, one thing that crypto has not really mastered is the use of the mobile. So if you watch most times, the mobile is mostly for some wallet, right? And until crypto comes to the point where you can actually, let's say for example, you have a kind of universal wallet that not only stores your coin, but you can use that wallet on your mobile phone or account or whatsoever or app to access, let's say, a minimum of like 10 blockchains, right? You can access the Bitcoin blockchain. You can access, like, how will it be like if you start using it on the phone, and right, and all that, you start mining, you start contributing your part to the network and phone. Listen, the next generation of or how will I put it, like companies will be on the mobile. You see, people are transitioning to the mobile. So let's talk about OneLedger, and let's see what they are seeking to do. So this is the article I actually wrote. I'll publish it. Now, this I talk about the fact that you can't deny the blockchain is actually coming to put things on every to come and push change on every sphere of human life. Now, when the internet came, if you watch very carefully, the internet has disrupted every single facet of life that information is needed or given at. Yeah, just think of it. Any part, whether it's in the communication domain, whether it's in education, as far as you pass information, as far as there's a form of communication or the other, the internet has disrupted that, right? The internet has changed the way we talk with one another, right? Now, when you look at blockchain, blockchain is going to disrupt every place where you can actually think of data. Yeah, any domain. Though when the internet with softwares, it has not really disrupted. Like some governments are still using papers and all that, but the blockchain is set to disrupt all that. Everything will be put on the blockchain. That is why I wrote on my Instagram that I beg you, as a person, that while you are actually seeking and jumping, you see, like, let's go to ICU drops. There are tons of websites, over 100 websites that list ICUs, right? So while you are going from platform to platform, you want to invest in this, you want to invest in that. I said I beg you that you should actually take the time. Yeah, I beg you, take the time and study about this technology. Take the time and sit down and say, okay, what can I actually do, right? So you want to sit down and take the time and do that. So that's what we're talking about. OneLedger. We're talking about how do we bring adoption to this space, right? And if we're talking about adoption, the first question now comes, okay, how do we educate people first? And that is the major thing. How do we educate these businesses so that they can use blockchain? Because you cannot just come and tell them that you have a very good stake, you can process this transaction per second, you are interoperable with other platforms. Nobody cares, right? You have to first educate them. So when platforms are talking most time, they should be focusing on the marketing side. The marketing side is to the investors. But most times what people do, what many platforms fail to really understand is their users. It's not those who buy the coins. Buying the coin, people are just using it, right? They keep it, right? Now, I'll talk about the future of ICUs. The future of ICOs is going to be this, or crypto. The future of crypto will be this. When you want to buy a coin, do you know what you'll be asked to? You'll be asked to prove that you will use the coin for transactions. Yeah. And after you've done that, after a certain amount of time, there will be a mechanism to actually check if you actually used that particular coin to do what? Transactions. And this is where the future is going. So let's talk about OneLedger. I said it will enable businesses build apps through its modularization tools that will then communicate through its API gateway. One of the things is that it's going to communicate with side chains that can synchronize with any distributed ledger like Neo or BTC, and can also support payment channels and hash time lock contracts. So it's going to communicate with side chains, right? You know side chains, this kind of blockchain that is almost like under or kind of affiliated by the site to the main chain, right? And then it defines what a kind of hash time locked contract is. A combination of hash lock and time lock. A hash lock is a restriction on a receiving address or account in that the owner must reveal a piece of information in order to lift the restriction, right? So we're talking about restriction on the account, and you see, and it's a very, very good thing if businesses will actually adopt this kind of thing, because you cannot just, let's take for example, to activate the traffic lights in a particular city, right? A certain account need to send some money to a certain account, right? So or you just send some coins and it can activate. What prevents an hacker from sending coins unauthorized? So that is a very big part. And then likewise, a time lock on transaction restrict on time when a transaction can be spent and all that. Now, another thing again about this platform is that it uses smart identity management system to allow enterprise or businesses to control node participation in consensus, restrict read and write access of users, and also track users' assets on the network. Now, what this system basically, when we're talking about the smart identity system, it talks about for people to actually use the service, right? You have to assign them an identity within the system. What this platform is all looking to do is, how do we change the whole business processes of the companies? Whether it's from manufacturing, we want to change the whole processes, right? There are businesses for you to actually, there are, let's say in the bank, right? You can come into the bank, but there are some places you cannot get in, right? Because maybe you don't have the key. There are some, you just tap it and you can get in, right? So what this platform is seeking to do, it wants to blockchainize, if that word is correct, it wants to blockchainize every part of the business operation. So there is the assigning of identity, right? And then there is this definition of what is possible, or what a worker can do, and what a particular staff cannot do, right? And then there is this tracking of assets. So we can actually track the assets that are committed to a particular person, like, okay, your department is scheduled with this, and we can track what they are doing with the department, right? So we can see if there is fraud, we can automate different processes, and it's very, very amazing features. And then another thing again is that they will be providing Chaincode service. So this is a kind of service where they can actually, rather than writing long lengthy code, they will help people to bridge, as in write an abridged version of code. And then the token utility to be used to forward the system. Participating node participating node, we have to, they'll be using them to compensate participating node and all that, right? So everyone for now can actually run a node, but in the future there will be a staking to run a node. Now it's needed to deploy their modules and codes on OneLedger marketplace. So there will be a marketplace that will be used. And then there is something that I actually like about this platform is that 25% of the tokens will be leveraged for community development and engagement. So things like this maybe stuffs like hosting seminars, maybe Asian tours, involving cryptocurrency, maybe influencers, or maybe things like hosting contents. There are things, how would I put this? Let me. Tron, something like Tron does. You get, so things like, you want to engage your community. Most times, there are platforms that are like saying there is a big controversy in the community, like the issue of airdrop, right? And people are saying airdrops are bad for crypto, right? It's like you can't really define certain stuff. Like it's like ICUs, right? There is a way you can actually go through ICUs and say ICUs are bad, right? And another thing again, you can actually look like there is nothing bad in it, right? This okay, if I go on Google like food in itself is not bad, right? But there is the way eating burger is not really bad, right? But they tell you there is the way, yeah, the approach, the use of it, right? So even when they said guns don't kill people, right? It is people that actually kill people. So if we use the issue of guns, and there are people who are talking about airdrops and all that, no, we want to be very, very careful we're talking about the use, right? It is the use that actually matters. And then let's talk about the how would they achieve consensus. So there is the consensus is in three forms, right? So you have the business initialization, where we actually define a kind of generalized contract that, okay, this is what is going to actually apply and all that. So then the next thing we have the channel consensus. So you have to achieve channel consensus, side chain consensus based on Byzantine fault tolerance, partial synchronization is conducted within a channel among its members. So once two-thirds of the network can actually agree, then we process the transaction. And then we have the public chain consensus. It is required when a transfer between public chains is requested, right? Then we talk about the use cases, like one of the uses is cross-chain decentralized exchange. Others include the ability to move business traffic into side chain with high performance, the ability to migrate, the ability to deploy and migrate dApp with ease. So, okay, you have this decentralized application in this part, and you don't actually maybe it's too cost, slow, maybe whatever the problem or whatsoever, you want to migrate and all that, right? You can deploy it anywhere, right? So cross interoperability, enablement of cross-chain access and consensus through OneLedger protocol, right? So we have this standardized communication between dApps within the OneLedger protocol. So this is a very, very good one. Once dApps can actually communicate with one another. They talk about the use cases like asset identification, blockchain as a service offering, and it's a very good one. You're going to be competing with guys like Stratis and Neblio and many other platforms. And then we can see the competitors, right? We have Cosmos, Polkadot, Aeon, and many other platforms. Like, depending on how you look at it, if you're talking about just interoperability, right? So this platform wants to involve with interoperability and all that. And then talk about the team and the advisors. So you can check the team. You can do your review on them. And then you can talk about the advisory board. You have the CEO of Polymath, John Law, and others, right? And then investors, you have other investors like this. And then you can see my I'll put this: investment decisions are only to be taken after thorough investment decisions like marriage are only to be taken after thorough and diligent considerations. So guys, please think things through, right? And if you like this video and you want to be seeing content like this, right, hit the subscribe button. Have a good day.